Oh my God. Well, we are live. Hi, everybody. Welcome and thank you for being here. So, today I would like to expand on the topic that I spoke about it Monday. And before I do that, I would like to invite you to join us because we'll be doing a daily live. So, if you are interested, please make sure to join us. I will make sure to put a time and the time for daily live. So you may want to join us because we'll always go deeper in. We choose a topic and we go deep into it. For today, we want to talk about the fact that once we are doing sales calls, there are always pushbacks. And before I talk about it and give you a complete different perspective of what you may have heard before, I would like to first give you some context. And the context is this: Zig Ziglar, he's the one of the founding fathers of sales. By the way, if you haven't read his book, Closing Sales, Secrets of Closing Sales, I think you should because it's just amazing. I listened to it in audio and it's amazing. So the fact of the matter, what he mentioned Zig Ziglar a long time ago, is the fact that every time you hear, "I don't have time, I don't have money, I need to speak to a spouse or partner," all these are signs and just a smoke screen that people tell us so that they can recuse themselves from making a decision, and they hide behind these obvious uh, uh, reasons or objections. Now, later on, recently, during the last few decades, couple decades, Russell Brunson was able to develop something. I believe Brunson, if I'm not mistaken, to develop something even interesting based on the same concept, which is the VIE, which is the vehicle internal external. And the fact of the matter, what he mentions is that every time people you ask them for sales, or every time you have a sales call, people will speak, will bring objections and pushbacks based on three common things. And these common things are real patterns that you can see them in every conversation. And you only need to listen and pay attention to what they say. And the idea is that every single objection that people say or mention, they are categorized into one of these three. They are either belong to a vehicle, related to a vehicle, they are either related to an internal belief, or they are related to an external belief. One of these beliefs, they are all different kind of objections and pushbacks, but in reality they are only three uh, patterns that we need to watch for so that we can find where people are actually falling short, and that's where we want to dig. So for example, if somebody says, uh, I just, I'm not good with tech stuff. I feel like I'm Generation X. That's what I say. I'm a Gen X. I feel I'm not techy enough. I'm not going to be able to pull this off. So has to do with internal false beliefs. So obviously, I have some serious false beliefs that I am telling myself, and that's why I'm speaking about this. And if I say, well, I don't even think that the product you're talking to me about right now is even capable of helping me solve the issue that I'm dealing with. So if you hear something like this, obviously the issue is has to do with the false belief about the product that you are selling to that person. And also, if it's an external, then it's related to either I don't have time, I need to speak to my partner, or I don't have the money. One of these. So you can see how things are clear once we start to really listen to people and what they say, and we can easily prepare the counter argument so that we can create something that can graduate them from one false belief to the next one. And by the end, once you are able to graduate them all the way to the third false belief, then you find yourself that you are uh, having an easy sell because there is no objections anymore. So this was, I believe, was important that we speak about because it gives us context about what is it that we want, uh, how things are in reality when we are preparing a sales, when we are having a sales call. Now, before I start talking about the chain of actions that I believe is related, directly related to the possibility of closing higher rates of sales, I want to highlight something important. There are, once we are having conversations with clients or prospects, there are two things that happen. You can either hear an objection or a complaint. And this is very important to pay attention and to be able to distinguish between the two, because every time you can uh, pause and ask yourself, what is this person is telling me? Is this an objection or is this a complaint? An objection, what you need to know about objection is something serious that needs to be addressed. And if is not addressed and solved, then the sales will be lost. So you need, every time you hear about objection, you need to stop and deal with it. Doesn't matter what it is. And if you don't know the answer, you tell them, I will get back with you with the answer. So that's something. The second thing about the complaint is the fact complaints are just noise. People feel the urge to add to they want to be heard and they want to feel important. And some of the ways, it's like all of us, we just want to a little bit to whine. So that's a way of, and it's you can easily get over a complaint by just saying I understand and then move on. Yeah, I completely understand. I've been in your shoes. I completely understand. I had similar experience. I completely understand. I did this. I had similar experience and I did this to overcome that. So you see where it comes, how it can go in different ways. So these are nuances that it's very important we understand so that we can pay attention every time somebody talks to us. Now, while we're having this conversation about the pushbacks and feedback, there is a chain of action that is lined up, and that's one feeds into the next one. And that's what I want to cover in this live, because I think this will be immensely important for you, and it's going to help you turn things around in a very positive way. Okay, so if we know for a fact that any sales, during any sales there are always pushbacks and objections, then the question we should be asking is how to handle these objections. Probably is by being able to decode the objections and categorize them based on where they are. If they are an objection that is related to internal, then I need to stop and go deep into why they think, what the person think about themselves as they think they are, and not enough. Why? And you need to go deeper in that aspect and ask a lot of questions to be able to unlock something that it's stuck in their mind that's holding them from making that decision, and from because it's something that it's a software that was downloaded. So if it's an objection that is based, we need to understand that it's an objection. Once we understand it's an objection, we need to categorize it. And once we categorize it, we need to be able to come up with the right counter argument. It's very easy. If it has to do with the vehicle, it's very easy to overcome it, because you can just give them a demo or just give them a testimonial. If it has to do with the internal, you need to go 7 level deep into why 7 times. And then you want to, at that point, you'll be able to maybe get to the level where you can see that there is an objection that is related to something that is deep in their psyche. Or if it's an external, then you want to make sure that you are making sure that what you are offering is really worth the value of the time and the expense and the financial or the price. So that's easy to make, especially if I consider I already was asked this question, and I said the following: if somebody, if I pretend that we receive a lot of objection in terms of people, you speak to a lot of people who don't have enough funds, and the idea is if you have this kind of clients or prospects often in your downline or in your sales calls, then it's probably because of you are not doing the right thing and you are not pre-qualifying early on in the process. Because if you were pre-qualifying, you won't have this objection to start with. You can have it, but it's going to be easy to overcome it because the value will overcome the objection itself, which is the money. Money is not an issue. If the value is more than the money, then automatically we are winning the conversation and the argument. So now we identify the pushback or the objections, we categorize it, we come up with the right counter argument. Next, how should we go about changing the false belief? And this is where it gets interesting. Before you even speak to somebody, if they have false belief, the power of marketing, and why marketing is powerful is because it's a one-to-many conversation. Once you post a piece of content, you are basically speaking to thousands of people, because everybody who is reading your post is able to get an idea about what you talk about, and they will eventually be able to change their belief. And this is what gets interesting. The way we change a false belief is because all this work we do it early on in the process, the way we change it is by changing the stories that they are telling themselves. And you can see now from if we put this on a horizontal lane, you can see that it's clear that it's one builds on the top of the other. There is an objection, there is a category, which category, then we can overcome those objections based on the stories that we are telling inside our contents. Now, the next thing that we need to ask is how we going to change, how we are going to tell those stories. And the answer is very simple. We're going to tell those stories through content. And that's why content is extremely important, because content helps us create prospects that are ready at 80% or more, that are ready to buy, because the know, like, and trust is already set. And the only thing that we have to do is to make sure that they understand what they are getting into, and then you can close. And then the next thing is, once you know that content, we know that content is important and is a powerful tool in our disposal to be able to help close sales early on in the process, then the next thing that we need a trust engine. And what is the trust engine? It's the power, it's that flywheel effect that the content is able to create. In a minute, I will give you but let me finish first what I'm about to say. So the ideal of how content will be able to help us change the dynamics of the stories that people already have in their mind is by changing it's by using the trust engine content. And the trust engine content is basically the power of compounding. The power of compounding that comes with the fact that every time I am present in the life of my audience, every day I'm posting, and these posts are equal to a sales letter, or to an email sequence, or to a handshake. You can call it whatever you want, but it's a connection that builds up one day at a time. So that content also is something that it's diversified, because I am speaking about, I'm giving them value, I'm leading with value, I am offering belief shifting content, I am offering lifestyle content, so that they feel connected to me as a personal level. They know me, they know my kids, they know where I live, they know how I live, all these builds up one single component at a time, and eventually leads to people to say, once you put that lead gen content, say, hey, I'm interested. What is it that you're talking about there? And at that moment, once a person raises their hand and say, hey, I'm interested in what you have to say, then and only then that person is considered the lead. And then and only then you have the right to do the follow-up with them, because they say they were interested. So obviously they have the pain, and obviously you touch a nerve somewhere, and it's completely legit to make that follow-up, because they were the one who mentioned the need to know more. So you can see how things are, when I say the chain of action, how things are builds up to come all the way to a point where we need content to change stories, and we need, and the way we're going to change stories is by using a trust engine content, sophisticated trust engine content. And the way we can use this trust engine content is by using Agentignite, for example, plugin, who is built exactly the way you want it to be. Because every time you want to do an action, it doesn't matter if you want to put a piece of content, if you want to send an email, if you want to send a message, if you want to build a landing page, if you want to send a DM message. There are 28 features altogether in there. So every time you want to do any kind of these activities, you are automatically asked specific questions. The AI understand exactly who is your dream customer, what is their pain point, what is it that they need to know, so that they can make that one step further towards you. So everything is already set in your favor, because you took the time at the very beginning to set it up, to feed it the right information. So it only takes few prompt to put it in, and then you have a complete engine in your business that can help you do the job well. It's been 17 minutes. Okay, so I will be talking a lot about this. If you think this is important, if you think this was good, then let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. What else I can talk about? The fact also is that we are not what we are offering with Agentignite. This is not about writing content. Writing content, it's no news. Now, any AI can write content for you. You want an AI that is able to, that knows who you are, that knows who you want to sell to. An AI that is already set up to work with you, not against you. It's not like every time you need to put something, you need to write. No, it's already done. You already done the work, and everything is already set. So the only thing that you need to do is to basically give it the right prompt. I want to write a piece of content around this, and it will deliver the goods. So it's not only that, but it's calibrated to speak in your voice. It creates the right attention, the awareness with the right people, and also it performs based on the exact ideal customers that you want to speak to. So this is very, very customized profile, customized plugin or AI tool that can really do a lot of good stuff. If you decide to join right now, because we are in the launch phase, this will be, the price is literally symbolic. Literally, it's like $10 a month. Literally. So in a year, you'll be able to pay off the investment. And not only that, you have a tool for life. I'm putting it for only 400 people for $100. If you decide to join, please make sure to comment below. I'll be more than happy to send you the link, and you can go ahead and purchase it, and I'll send you all the information afterward. You email me and I'll send you all the information. If you want to chat, or if you want to have a conversation, if you get stuck, if you are a life insurance agent or financial advisor, and you want to change your business. You want to make your business has more power and build the real business, not just based on cold calls and trying to push yourself on people, but by having an infrastructure that is built for the long term. Then you can also join me, schedule a call. I will add the link here, and you can schedule a call. We can chat for as long as you need, and we can definitely give you the right recommendations there. All right. So I won't keep this longer. If you have further questions, please make sure to leave them in the comments, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye bye. Happy Wednesday.